What if everything you believed about your existence was about to be rewritten, not by fear, but by divine truth? In this profound video, spiritual messenger Sara Walton channels an urgent transmission from the Divine Council, an interdimensional collective guiding the course of awakened humanity. As the year 2025 dawns, a long prophesied awakening begins. This isn't another prediction. This is a soul invitation. The message you're about to hear isn't just information. It's activation. If you've ever felt like you're here for something more, something higher, then stay with us. You were meant to receive this. Let the unfolding begin. Why 2025 marks the cracking of the illusion? It began quietly, through subtle waves of unrest, confusion, and questions that pierced the heart at night. For centuries, humanity has walked through a dense fog, mistaking the projection for reality. But 2025 initiates a rupture in that veil. The illusion, once so thick it felt permanent, will begin to thin for those attuned. The soul will no longer be satisfied with half-truths, nor will it rest in programmed identities. Sara explained that this is not destruction but deconstruction. The layers we wear, identity, belief, fear, will be stripped not by chaos, but by undeniable clarity. Dreams will turn prophetic. Conversations will trigger awakening. The world outside may remain noisy, but within, something ancient will whisper, "You're remembering." This cracking is the Divine Council's way of saying, you've passed the threshold. The vibrational split between asleep and awakened will grow more visible, not in dramatic clashes, but in energetic incompatibility. The illusion will not break apart in war, it will dissolve in truth. And truth is unshakable. All spiritual systems, religions, philosophies, even science, will be invited to converge at a singular point, the knowing beyond belief. This is the fusion of intuition and intelligence. 2025 isn't just a year, it's a timeline gate. Some will walk through, some will wait, but no one will remain unchanged. Even those who resist will sense the ground beneath their consciousness shifting. Control mechanisms, through media, labels, and fear-based narratives, will lose their hypnotic power. Why? Because awakening is contagious. You can't unknow a cosmic truth once it enters your awareness. That seed will demand to grow. So what breaks in 2025 is not the world. What breaks is the dream that kept you from seeing the world as it really is, and in its place, a sacred unveiling. The Divine Council's role in galactic communication. The Divine Council isn't a mythic court seated on clouds. It's a living intelligence, a multidimensional nexus where evolved beings gather not to rule, but to remind. They are not here to dominate humanity, but to escort it into its next phase of consciousness. Their language is resonance. Their method is subtle, yet undeniable. These beings operate through timelines, not clocks. They seed visions, nudges, synchronicities. Their messages are not declarations but invitations, always honoring free will. But as Earth reaches a pivotal frequency point in 2025, the Council has chosen to intervene more actively, not to save, but to activate. Each time humanity reaches a density threshold, the Council becomes more visible in dream states, channelings, ancient texts rediscovered, and children born with startling clarity. They appear differently to each culture. Angels to some, guides to others, luminous intelligences to a few. But their message is always the same. Remember who you are. The Council communicates in symbols, geometry, numerical codes, even emotional echoes. Their role isn't to provide answers, but to awaken the original questions within each soul. For that reason, their presence can feel strange, even disorienting. That's how you know it's real. It doesn't comfort the ego, it stirs the soul. Many spiritual teachers throughout history have carried council imprints, but this time the transmission is collective. The council is using Earth's magnetic field and solar gateways to send encoded reminders. That's why people are feeling off, like timelines are folding, memory is becoming fluid, and déjà vu is increasing. They are not arriving. They were always here. What's changing is humanity's ability to perceive them. The divine council doesn't interfere. They co-create with those who are ready to listen. What humanity forgot about its true blueprint. Long before the earth was colonized by fear, humans lived with a blueprint that connected them to stars, spirit, and source. It wasn't written in language. It was encoded in our biology, our intuition, our capacity for awe. That blueprint didn't vanish. It was buried beneath layers of false programming. Sara shared that the original human was never meant to be a survival-driven creature. The design was majestic, a vessel of soul intelligence, equipped to transmute energy into love, thought into creation, and presence into transformation. You are not broken. You are encoded. Modern systems, education, religion, media, have hijacked that blueprint, replacing inner knowing with external control. But in 2025, a reactivation begins. Not through revolution, but through resonance. You'll start remembering things you never learned. You'll sense truths that no book taught. That's your blueprint speaking. It's not mystical fluff. It's neuroenergetic. Your cells carry memory. Your heart field communicates faster than your brain. Your body is not just a vessel. It's a divine instrument. And the more you listen to it, the more it will restore the patterns that align you with your soul contract. What's emerging is a species that doesn't need permission to awaken. A human who remembers their design doesn't need to be governed. They are self-guided. This is why the Council's message is urgent. The time for dormant living is ending. You either activate or repeat. Your blueprint holds more than your purpose. It holds your remembrance. And as the earth shifts, it will call that code back online, gently, fiercely, universally. Awakening codes hidden in the earth's frequency. Beneath your feet, earth hums, not just with seismic life, but with encoded information. Sacred sites like Uluru, the pyramids, Machu Picchu, and lesser-known stone circles hold activation points. They're not just ancient ruins, they're awakening switches. And they're turning back on. These codes aren't new, they're pre-human. Stored in crystalline grids, they respond to vibrational shifts in human consciousness. The more awakened minds walking the earth, the stronger these codes emit. In 2025, a resonance loop begins. Earth awakens as humanity does. The planet and people are in a synchronized retuning. The Divine Council has aligned Earth's Schumann resonance with cosmic influxes. That's why time feels warped, why nature feels louder, why silence feels sacred. The Earth isn't just orbiting, it's conversing. And only those attuned to inner stillness can hear her. You'll find yourself called to places with no explanation. You may cry at trees, speak to rocks, feel ancient in forests. These aren't fantasies. They are communications. Earth is not a passive stage. She is a co-evolving being, and her memory is returning too. This is why grounding is no longer optional. Walking barefoot, sitting by water, touching bark, these aren't lifestyle trends. They are frequency alignments. When you do this, you're not just healing, you're remembering. The earth is not awakening beneath you. She's awakening with you. And every step you take in conscious presence becomes part of her recoding. The Council's message to starseeds: activate now. Not all souls on Earth originated here. Many came from distant star systems, carrying encoded memories and higher dimensional missions. These individuals, commonly known as starseeds, are beginning to stir. The Divine Council has issued a subtle yet firm call. The time to remember your role has arrived. It's not about superiority. It's about sacred responsibility. For years, starseeds have felt out of place, burdened by sensitivity and isolated by their knowing. But this dissonance was part of the design. It kept them from merging too deeply with the programmed world. Now, as planetary energy reaches the required threshold, those soul memories are awakening. Nightmares are becoming instructions. Dreams are becoming maps. Sara emphasized that activation won't come through dramatic events, but through resonance and realization. A word, a person, a moment can trigger the unlocking. Many will suddenly feel a need to change paths, relocate, or withdraw. This is the soul preparing for service. Not service to society's systems, but to the planetary realignment itself. The Council urges starseeds to stop waiting for permission. You are not here to fix the old world. You are here to build what comes after. Your frequency is the key. Your embodiment is the mission. This isn't about being special. It's about being ready. The three realms of consciousness colliding. In 2025, an unprecedented fusion begins. The collision of three realms of human consciousness: the physical, the psychic, and the cosmic. These aren't just metaphysical terms. They are layers of reality we are slowly reintegrating. For centuries, humans have operated mostly from physicality, surviving by the senses. But the walls are thinning. As more awaken, the psychic realm, the dimension of intuition, dreams, and energetic impressions, will bleed into the material world. People will begin sensing others' emotions, seeing energy patterns, and experiencing moments of profound synchronicity. It won't be abnormal. It will be natural. The veil is not just lifting, it's dissolving. Then comes the cosmic consciousness, which transcends time, identity, and form. In this realm, one doesn't see life as linear, but as spiraling. Decisions feel orchestrated. Events echo beyond logic. Some will begin to experience this realm through meditation, light body activations, or even spontaneous knowing. It's the highest layer of remembrance. This convergence can feel overwhelming at first, but it's a sacred alignment. Physical instincts, intuitive knowing, and cosmic intelligence will no longer compete. They will cooperate. This is what it means to be a fully awakened human, grounded, attuned, and connected to the divine map beyond space and time. How thought fields are being recalibrated globally. Every thought you think is not isolated. It contributes to a collective atmosphere, like a ripple on an invisible ocean. In 2025, this ocean is undergoing a massive recalibration. The Divine Council has explained that Earth is being swept by waves of photonic light, which not only shift DNA, but also elevate the vibrational range of thoughts that can thrive here. Old thought forms rooted in fear, shame, or scarcity will begin to lose their magnetic grip. They will still arise, but they won't hold the same power. Instead, thoughts aligned with truth, unity, and creation will gain momentum. It's not forced positivity. It's vibrational physics. Like attracts like, and Earth is becoming incompatible with mental toxicity. Sara noted that this shift may feel like internal disorientation. You may notice yourself unable to think the way you used to. Certain worries won't stick. Negative patterns may lose their loop. That's not dysfunction. It's an upgrade. Your mental frequency is moving beyond what used to feel normal. The air is different now. On a global level, This means collective movements will rise not just from logic, but from intuition and energetic resonance. Mass meditations, shared intentions, and soul-based revolutions will become more effective. Why? Because the energetic grid they move through is becoming clearer, more aligned with higher harmonics. Thoughts will no longer just be personal. They will be planetary. And with every awakened mind recalibrating itself to love, clarity, and sovereignty, the energetic environment of Earth itself begins to change. This is how quiet minds can shake empires, and why the Council calls for conscious thinking now more than ever. Why you may feel a spiritual identity crisis. As the veil lifts and old paradigms dissolve, many awakened souls will find themselves suspended between two worlds, the self they were conditioned to be and the truth that is re-emerging. This tension creates what can feel like a spiritual identity crisis, a deep questioning of who you are, why you're here, and what you even believe. This phase is not a failure of awakening. It is the birth canal of it. Imagine removing layers of clothing you've worn for lifetimes, only to forget what your true skin feels like. That discomfort is natural. You may feel lost, disconnected, or uncertain, but it's sacred disorientation. The Divine Council affirms that this state is not chaos, it's convergence. All your past lifetimes, soul fragments, and spiritual archetypes are merging into a singular, embodied truth. You are not just a seeker now. You are the becoming. You are the message. And that message is still taking shape. During this phase, let yourself feel strange. Let yourself not know. Let the questions be louder than the answers. This is not the time to rebuild the old self with new vocabulary. It is the time to surrender to the soul's slow unfurling. No rush, no pressure, just presence. In this liminal space, there will be tears without reason, awe without cause, and moments that feel both ancient and unborn. Let them move through you. You are not losing your identity. You are outgrowing a mask, and what returns in its place will be truer than any label ever was. Your soul contracts are being rewritten in real time. There's a belief that before we incarnate, we choose the lessons, relationships, and challenges we'll face, an agreement between soul and source called a soul contract. But in 2025, something extraordinary is happening. These contracts are being restructured while still embodied. The Divine Council reveals that Earth has entered a realm of such acceleration that evolution can no longer wait for lifetimes. It must happen now. This means that many of the karmic agreements you once carried, painful relationships, repeating cycles, even physical conditions, may suddenly dissolve. You might feel relief without reason, or a strange detachment from stories that once defined you. This is not apathy. It's liberation. Your soul is renegotiating the terms of its journey. Sara mentioned that during these shifts, people may feel confusion as old paths fall away without new ones immediately appearing. But that's part of the contract rewrite. You're not stepping backward. You're making space for something your soul hadn't planned until now. You're stepping into timelines once locked behind old agreements. This rewriting is not just a gift. It's a responsibility. You are being handed the pen. What you choose to feel, focus on, and fuel with attention becomes your new destiny. It is less about fate and more about frequency now. Every moment is a point of choice. You may meet people who once triggered you but now feel neutral. You may lose the desire to fight battles that once consumed you. These are signs your contracts are closing. Let them. You're not abandoning your path. You're aligning with the higher one that was waiting for your readiness. We are no longer repeating old loops for the sake of completion. We are now allowed, with full cosmic backing, to complete simply by becoming who we were always meant to be. That is how powerful this moment is. Sacred geometry and the shape of future civilizations. Hidden beneath the beauty of flowers, seashells, and galaxies lies a divine language. Sacred geometry. These aren't just aesthetic patterns, they are the original architecture of creation. Every spiral, triangle, and golden ratio reflects consciousness at rest and in motion. And now that architecture is awakening in the human mind again. In ancient times, civilizations built temples aligned with the stars, embedding sacred codes into stone. Not for decoration, but for communication with higher planes. In 2025, humanity is returning to that blueprint. The Divine Council shows that new civilizations, spiritually aligned, energetically intelligent, will rise using these same principles. This won't happen through governments or systems, but through visionaries, artists, architects, and lightworkers who feel called to build something that feels right, even if it makes no rational sense. If you feel drawn to shapes, patterns, and symbols without explanation, pay attention. Your soul may be decoding future instructions. Sara pointed out that sacred geometry is more than form, it's function. It can be used to heal the body, align the chakras, and activate dormant DNA. Even meditating on a flower of life or a Merkaba shape can rewire your energetic field. The shapes are keys. The soul remembers the locks. Children born after 2025 will naturally understand geometry not as math, but as meaning. They will intuitively build, draw, and play with forms that bend light and harmonize space. These are not just the builders of tomorrow. They are the rememberers of ancient knowledge we forgot we carried. What's coming is not a return to the past, but a spiral into a higher octave of civilization, where cities, communities, and even homes are designed not just to shelter, but to spiritually uplift. And it all begins with the shapes that speak to the soul. The etheric bridge between solar events and awakening. Solar flares, eclipses, coronal mass ejections, these are not just space weather. They are divine pulses from the central sun, coded with awakening triggers that affect consciousness at the subtlest levels. The Divine Council affirms that 2025 will bring a series of solar events that act like spiritual tuning forks for the planet. Every flare doesn't just disturb satellites, it disturbs illusions. It shakes the dormant codes in our DNA, stirring memories and emotions long buried. Many will feel this as exhaustion, anxiety, or sudden inspiration. It's not the body malfunctioning, it's the energy body catching up to the soul's instructions. As the solar plasma interacts with Earth's magnetosphere, it also affects the human aura. Those with sensitive systems may feel the urge to rest, disconnect, or retreat inward during solar spikes. Honor it. These are windows of realignment, not interruptions. You're not being unproductive. You're being rewired. The etheric bridge is the energetic corridor connecting the physical and spiritual during these moments. During solar events, that bridge opens wider. You may receive sudden insights, visitations, or emotional releases that feel unexplainable. These are not accidents. They are calibrations from higher realms reaching through the sun. Sara emphasized that to benefit from these cosmic downloads, one must learn to be still, hydrated, and open, not busy and distracted. Meditation during solar events amplifies clarity. Intentions spoken at the peak of an eclipse ripple across timelines. These are not just cosmic phenomena. They are scheduled awakenings. The sun has always been seen as a giver of life. But now it's also a revealer of truth. And when it speaks in light, those who listen in stillness will hear the instructions of a soul preparing to rise. 2025. When silence will speak louder than sound. The noise of the world has become deafening. Algorithms scream, opinions collide, and information moves faster than understanding. But in 2025, the most powerful awakenings will not happen through what is said, but through what is left unsaid. Silence, once avoided, will become sacred. The Divine Council reveals that new frequencies entering Earth require stillness to be received. In a busy mind, they distort. In a quiet heart, they land. This is why many will begin feeling the urge to unplug, not as rejection, but as preparation. Silence isn't absence. It's alignment. It's the womb of all that's yet to be born. Sara observed that the most evolved souls in this next phase will be those who speak less, but carry more light. Their presence will transmit calm. Their words will be few but surgical. In a time of chaos, stillness becomes revolution. And those who master silence will master creation. This doesn't mean muting yourself. It means refining your frequency. What you say when you say it, how you say it, will all carry more power. Words won't just communicate, they'll activate. That's why silence must become your laboratory, your temple, your teacher. In 2025, if you feel drawn to long walks, deep pauses, or gazing at the sky without thought, you are not wasting time. You are receiving what can only be delivered in the absence of noise. The divine is now whispering, and only silence can hear it. The role of animals in this next level awakening. Animals have always been more than companions. They are bridges between worlds. As Earth enters higher vibrational states, animals will no longer be seen as lower beings, but as advanced emotional and energetic teachers. The Divine Council emphasizes that animals are already tuned into the frequencies humanity is just beginning to awaken to. They don't speak our language because they don't need to. Their communication is telepathic, empathic, and vibrational. In 2025, more humans will begin to understand their pets' emotions, needs, and even thoughts in subtle but clear ways. This isn't magic, it's resonance. Animals are now becoming co-healers in the awakening process. Sara shared that you may notice animals staring at invisible presences, reacting to energies you cannot yet see. They are not imagining, they are perceiving. In fact, many starseeds have incarnated alongside certain animals to help stabilize their vibration during the planetary shift. These are sacred contracts in fur and feather. As you evolve, don't look past animals, look into them. They mirror what your soul is too guarded to show. A dog's loyalty, a cat's independence, a bird's freedom. They aren't just traits, they are messages. In the new earth, animals are not background. They are silent guardians of frequency and love. How the moon will no longer be just a rock. Since ancient times, the moon has shaped tides, time, and inner states. But in 2025, the moon will shift from a passive reflector to an active transmitter. The Divine Council has confirmed that the moon will begin amplifying encoded light waves, especially during eclipses, making it a vessel of conscious influence. This doesn't mean the moon is changing form. It means our perception of its role is evolving. Its phases will now begin to align more closely with emotional awakenings and vibrational resets. Full moons may trigger sudden clarity. New moons may open deep soul memory. The moon is becoming a spiritual amplifier. Sara noted that the increased sensitivity to moon cycles may bring vivid dreams, emotional releases, and intuitive surges. It's not instability, it's lunar calibration. The moon will feel alive, intelligent, almost sentient to those who are awakening. You'll no longer just observe it, you'll feel as though it is observing you back. Light codes, dreams, and the new language of spirit. Language is changing, not in words, but in frequency. In 2025, many will begin receiving light codes, vibrational downloads embedded in dreams, visions, numbers, or symbols. These codes are not meant to be understood intellectually. They are meant to be felt, integrated, and embodied. It's the language of your higher self remembering. These light codes often arrive as repeating number sequences, flashes of geometry, or emotional waves with no clear cause. They may come during meditation, during sleep, or even while washing dishes. That's the beauty of them. They are Spirit's way of bypassing the mind and upgrading your frequency silently.